Hello, Sherlock. Hello, Apple. Bootsy down there, hello. So, Sherlock is back from his very first dog show, and it was a real test run for him because we went to what's called a specialty show run by our breed club. Huge difference between that and the normal all-breed AKC shows that we often go to. Ooh, I think there's room for both of you on my lap. Oh, and he's going to go play with his mother, but I got Bootsy here who's very, very affectionate. Anyway, the specialty shows generally have an entry of maybe 50 to 100 Cavaliers, all Cavaliers, and they're all competing against one another. Whereas when you go to an AKC all-breed show, you might have 500 or 600 dogs entered, but in the Cavalier breed, you might be competing against maybe 5 or 10 other Cavaliers. All right, you want to keep it down on the set, please? Thank you. I'll show you a little snippet of how he did, and you can see. Just getting Sherlock ready for his first dog show. Sherlock, say hello. Good boy. All right, you're going to win, all right? Good boy. And so we're lined up just outside of the ring, waiting to come in. That Ruby puppy that you see right in front of him in this puppy class is actually a very nice Ruby. He was bred by a breeder that we respect very much. In fact, same breeder that bred Bella's sire. So it was stiff competition. The other puppy is also about 2 months older than Sherlock is, so he was a little bit more polished, a little bit more developed, has some more coat, and so on. So Sherlock was kind of getting himself oriented to the ring. I think he did quite well, except that he did seem a bit distracted. His head was turning left and right as we went around the ring. Then he waited patiently for his turn as the other dog was being examined and moved individually. And I just kind of kept him occupied. Stacks very nicely, though. And then finally our turn came. So I got him on the table. The judge took a good look at him. Again, he stacked quite nicely on the table, but then he gets very excited when somebody comes up to meet him. But the judge was able to do a nice examination, and then we got to move him individually. And so if you watch the way he walks around the ring, considering the fact that he's only 6 months old, I think he did quite well. Carries his top line and his tail extremely well. And he started to get the idea and get oriented to the whole dog show atmosphere, being in the ring and having somebody look at him. And so after both dogs had been completely examined and watched for their movement, the judge made her picks and placed us. And as is always done in our breed club, we get a critique from the judge explaining exactly what he or she likes about our dog. And he was waiting very patiently to get his critique. Now you'll notice that he did not win. Winning at a specialty show is quite a different experience than winning at an all-breed show. If I showed him in an all-breed show, I'd be kind of disappointed if he didn't win something. When I go to one of these specialty shows, I know that there are only going to be a couple of majors given out of all those dogs entered, and so his chance of beating them, especially the more developed ones, well, you know, that's a whole different ball game. But what really impressed me positively was the fact that many of the breeders, a lot of whom are judges, who were sitting and watching the show, made it a point to come over to us and congratulate us on how really wonderful he looked in the ring. And the way a dog moves in the ring is a reflection of his soundness. So I take that as a compliment, and I think he's going to have a future. We also had Apple, and Bella competing. I'll show you a couple of little snippets of their performance in the ring. Well, Sherlock did not win his class, but we have the girls to show. Apple has just been bathed, and she's going to be dried off and groomed for her session this afternoon. And Bella is in the process of being dried and groomed right now. So Sherlock's going to wish his mother good luck, and then we'll try again tomorrow. Apple was the first of the two girls to go into the ring. She was in a class with a total of 3 tricolors. The other 2 were bred by and shown by breeders whom I know and I respect very highly. Very, very nice Cavaliers. Apple, of course, is a very nice Cavalier. She moves very well. I thought she did a credible job on this day, although I've seen her do better other times. I probably could attribute some of that to my own shortcomings, which, you know, I'm not the best exhibitor in the world, but I do the very best I can to show off my dogs. And so there she had her individual movement. She was seen by the judge, and when the judge decided, after looking at all of them, we were lined up in second place, which in a class of that quality actually was quite good. So we'll take a look at her critique when it's published to see what the judge thought of her. Well, then, the very next class was the class that Bella was entered in, so I had to do a quick number change and a quick handoff so that I could get right back into the ring and show Bella. And Bella was actually in a very good mood to be shown on this particular day, and I think that she had the right attitude and showed herself well. And as she made her grand entrance into the ring, you'll notice that there are no other dogs. She was the only one in her class, which was really very good because although I think she showed herself quite well and would have stood a good chance against other Cavaliers, she automatically, as the class winner, got to compete later on against all the other class winners to see if she could possibly get one of those coveted majors. If you watch as she moves around, you'll see she's very smooth and fluid in her movement, carrying her tail very well, and I think she did a great job of showing herself to the judge. And so she earned the right to go on to the competition for winners, got to be introduced individually to a nice round of applause. She had the opportunity to once again move the judge so the judge could take a close look at each one of the entries. And I have to say I'm very, very proud of this girl for doing so well against the competition, which included several established Cavalier champions. So again, the way they competed, the way they looked, the compliments that we received from other knowledgeable breeders, a very important factor. One last thing, another reason why I went to this particular dog show was because I was giving a seminar one evening, a seminar that centered on the breed standard, which is the description of what a Cavalier should be like, as published by our breed club. And it was intended to help train people who are trying to become judges, to serve as part of the continuing education for people in our club who are judges, and any other breeders who just might be interested in knowing more about the breed standard. And I'm not going to bore you. It's like an hour and a half. If you're really interested in seeing it sometime, I'll let you know how you can do that online. But there's just a little snippet here so you can see what it's like to be educated about the breed standard. If you're not experienced and you want to know, how can I tell if that's enough neck? One of the little guidelines that's very handy, and I've occasionally kind of leaned on it myself, is to look at a couple of lines. When the dog is standing and alert, what?
I knew math would enter into it.
Oh, there's going to be more math, believe me. We're going to get into angles in a minute.
That's for the pretest.
Yeah. When the dog is standing and alert, like when they're lined up in the beginning or when the judge is making a decision. Can you line him up? No, just on the table. The line that is the extension of the top line should be, actually the head I should say, should be completely above that line. And the head should be completely forward of the line that's the extension of the foreleg. Right? A well-constructed dog with a good neck is going to have his head in that little quadrant in the upper left. And you can see, forget about the ear feathering, the head itself is completely in that quadrant. So, we hope you enjoy that. We hope you will continue to follow Sherlock as he develops and competes in more big specialty shows. And we'll follow Apple's adventures in dog shows, and of course Bootsy, the sweet girl. You're a good girl.
Thank you, Daddy.